and that's it. I mean, but I guess, there's more than one Las Vegas, is there?
There
Well,
is
I was
more
in
than one
Bend,
Las
Oregon
Vegas. Yeah, there
recently.
is.
Yeah.
There's more
Is that
than
your
one
bus?
Dunedin.
But I think there's only one New York. I believe there's only one New York, but it's so nice they named it twice. So you call it New York, right?
Jan, about that service that you were using,
Yes.
I saw the clip that you posted. The fonts
Yes.
are huge for the if you're not listening to it, those fonts took up half the screen.
Oh,
Yeah,
you mean the
I don't know if you can
closed
control
captioning?
that. I just experimented with it really quickly. I did it, and I just was in a rush, dropped it in, picked one clip, and just put it up to see how it would work. Seems like it worked pretty well. I haven't checked Facebook today, but I'm sure it worked really well. And speaking of Facebook, welcome everybody. We're live and we're streaming the 211th meeting of Thinking Out Loud with Friends. The opinions of opinions. That's what we are. We are an opinion show. So anything you hear, do your own research. Have a great time. Normally I have the schedule of things that I want to talk about, but after last week, I said, fuck it. I don't want to fucking think about anything. All I want to do is let it rip. Let's go. The hero of our shows are you guys. Make it happen. That's what where did I hear that before? Make it happen. You make it happen. So anyway, welcome everybody. What do you want to talk about today?
Congratulations to United Launch Alliance and Boeing and NASA. The 10th time is the charm.
It went up. I didn't get
today.
to check the news. So the Boeing thing went up?
Yeah.
The Star, what is it called? The Starlighter?
Starliner, yeah. Tomorrow,
Starliner.
though, is the big launch out of Texas, the largest rocket on the planet at this time. It's launching out of Boca Chica, Texas, the Starship I think it's going to go out at 10:52 Eastern.
And what's the destination? What's the destination of these vehicles?
Well, the first one, the Starliner, is going to the International Space Station. The Starship, it's brand new. It's the one that they're going to use. Elon Musk is going to use to go to not only the moon but also to Mars and back. This is their first trip that they're going to fully complete. It's only the third launch of it. The first and the second one blew up, at different points. The first one blew up like right away, but the second one, they got to orbit and then they lost it. So, but if you get a chance, Starship is, it's larger than the Artemis one. It is twice as powerful as the Saturn V that launched people to the moon. It's huge. So y'all are in the space and that kind of stuff. Watch it.
Meanwhile, what about what China did, landing on the far side of the moon?
Yeah.
It's
on its way back.
Yeah, supposedly. If we believe China, I guess we have no reason not to. But that's going to be really cool. They brought some specimens back with them. I'm just really impressed that they can just do this stuff. It's incredible.
Yeah, I heard they were trying to go up to the sun, but it was so hot and bright, so they decided that they would go to the
at night. Yeah, they have to go at night.
Yeah, that's right. They'd go at night. That's it. It was a smart idea.
Ken, you should see Jan busted out his guitar on Facebook. So if you follow,
I saw that without listening to it. Yeah, I saw some guitar playing.
That's the best way, and that is, by the way, the best way to view it without listening to it. For sure. Not, as somebody once said to, somebody once said, I'm a humble man and I've got a lot to be humble about. and that's for sure. But the reality is I wouldn't have done that, but Bo recorded it. We had some friends over the house, and they saw the guitar and they wanted me to play and blah blah blah. So, one little error there and some lyrics somewhere towards the end of the song. But what the hell? I'm a semi-pro. There you go. So. Yeah, it's worth listening to if you got a chance. It'll give you a new perspective of who I am and why I've been doing this. I'll bet, without even, we've never spoken about this before, but I will bet everybody in this room has some sort of musical talent in them, whereas they wanted to be a player, but they weren't really of professional quality, or they never got the break that they deserve. And that's why they're doing what they're doing right now, because you wanted to be around that scene. Because music, for years, my publishing company was called Music Is My Life. And I would think that that's basically the same with everybody in this room.
No, not for me. I could play any instrument I wanted. I played the piano. I had music theory, but I never wanted to practice. And so science was really easy for me. So I just went this way.
But you did play, right? You did play.
Yeah, but I didn't try to become a professional. That wasn't my dream.
Now, what was your instrument?
Piano, and you couldn't use a piano in a marching band.
That's
So
right.
that was
In
it.
those
Today
in
you
those
can.
days.
Yeah, in those
Right.
days. And that's why I took up guitar, because it was easier to carry around the guitar than it was the piano in those days.
Now wait a minute. There was the accordion.
Yeah, I started on the accordion. I drummed that as soon as I could.
There's not too many weird Al Yankovic's out there, thank God. But that's the story,
I'm a
But yeah,
cellist.
Wayne plays
today.
guitar. I could see that in the background, either that or it's a prop.
Bit of both. But anyway, well, I
Kenny,
think
what about you? What's your musical history?
Who?
Yeah.
Me? Well, in if I recall correctly, in elementary school, like fourth grade, I took trumpet lessons,
Mhm.
and then in seventh or eighth grade, I got braces, and so I couldn't play the trumpet any longer because the mouthpiece was really painful. So they switched me to tuba. I played tuba for a year or something, and then I said, you know what? I'm having more fun recording the band than I am being in the band. So I'll just record the band.
Yeah. I was going to take up playing the cowbell after I saw that Saturday Night Live sketch. By the way, it's the funniest thing, what's his name? Is his name Christopher Walken? Is that his
Yeah.
name? Christopher Walken. Now he hates Will Ferrell, because wherever he goes now, they always bring up the cowbell skit. Everywhere he goes, no matter what his accomplishment is they say, hey, a little more cowbell, baby, a little more cowbell.
That's what he's known for.
And
It's
actually,
too bad.
that is
That's his
really one of the
legacy.
funniest. It's one of the
Yeah, but
funniest
it was
skits
just
that they
so
ever
it
did.
was just so
Well, also-
funny because Will Ferrell was so animated. It was
Yeah, also don't forget he did all that dancing in that video, that music video. That he was dancing all over the place. You guys remember that? I can't think of who did the video. Some guys. They had a bunch of hits, but he danced the entire video. You don't remember that?
Who are we
I
talking
had an
about?
idea.
We're talking about
Christopher
Christopher
Walken.
Walken.
I don't
I
remember
had
that.
an idea when I was living in Hollywood, and I had this idea for a television show of basically, and I couldn't figure out how to package it or whatever. But I felt that every star, or most of the stars, have a talent that nobody knows about. And I wanted to do it something like Star Talent. And basically, like, Christopher Walken, he's known for his acting, but maybe he's a great tuba player, or he is a cowbell player, or whatever it is. And then do that, do segments of the show with their other talent that nobody knows about. But then I guess they came up with Dancing with the Stars and The Voice and all these different other shows that can, exploit these other people's talents.
So, by the way, it's Fatboy Slim was the record that he was on, the video. And he danced throughout the whole video. It was a huge hit. I can't believe you guys can't remember it.
Yeah. Can't think about it.
I don't think I ever
Well,
saw it.
Yeah.
Oop, where'd everybody go?
It's like
Anyway.
the face looks familiar, but it doesn't ring a bell. Speaking of Quasimodo, that's it. Anyway, so Fred, what are you doing? What's up? What's new? What's exciting? What new technology are you working on?
I actually got to come home early today. I just cut up 1,000 feet of Cat 5 cable last couple of days and made cables. It's really, really exciting.
That's a lot of cabling they're using over there. This is
They
the
shut off
the
the
land
Wi-Fi.
management.
They shut off the Wi-Fi at where I work, so I'm now having to cable all the students into the system.
Now, why did they shut off the Wi-Fi?
Because it's end of life and they're worried about security. It's the government.
Now, do you think that Wi-Fi is really that insecure or unsecure?
And end of life, you bet your damn boots they are.
Absolutely, I do. That's why whenever I do somebody's house, I try to talk them into putting in hard lines. Everybody wants to be on Wi-Fi. I'm like, guys, you don't get it. I used to sit in my hotel with my scanners and listen to more drug deals and parties and stuff back when cell phones were analog. Oh my God. It was great.
Wow. Thank God I didn't have cell phones in those days. Boy, when I was there, my conversations would definitely be memorable for sure. You would never, if you ever listen to one of my
You
conversations
have a radio phone
in the day, if you ever listen to one, you would not be the same today. That's all I could say.
You
would not be the same.
have a radio phone in your house or business?
No, I had a beeper. That was it. I had a beeper and a pay telephone. I had a pay telephone put in the house. That way, nobody.
A pay telephone in your house?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And a
keep the
shitload
riffraff
of
out.
dimes, right?
Keep the riffraff out. Keep the riffraff out. That's what we try to do, right, Dave?
Yeah, you're friends.
Anyway,
Right, they were my friends. The riffraff, yeah.
Look at what I just dropped in the chat. Would you go on that ladder?
Let's see. What did he drop in the chat? What did we go on the ladder? Let's see. Most people take it for granted. Oh my God.
Yeah, I
No,
saw
I
that.
don't.
I saw that news story and said, "There's no way." I mean, I went to the Tower Bridge the other day here in London, and they have a glass section of the floor. It's it's a couple hundred feet over the street or something. I could barely walk on the glass floor, and it's obviously as solid and as safe as possible. But you're walking right over 200.
Yeah, they have one in Toronto too. When I went with my wife to Toronto for a deal at the CN Tower, a quarter of it. There you go. Yeah, scroll down a little bit. There's the video.
I think sharing, but all right. Oh yeah, I could see it. I just saw it on when it went live. I saw it on YouTube. So I monitor YouTube to the left. Anyway, so anybody working these days? David, you tell us where you are in Bend. It's not the Bend that everybody thinks over.
No, West Bend. I'm in West Bend, Wisconsin.
Bend over?
Bend, my old friend, Bend Dover.
Yeah.
Mr. Dover, paging Mr. Dover.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Believe me, not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah.
Just an opinion,
No, I'm in the middle of the film. I was just going to say, we started in Pennsylvania, outside of Philly. Then we worked our way into Indiana. Now we're in Wisconsin. Then we're going to be in Iowa and then South Dakota. So I've got 11 shows in 20 days, and then I come home.
Wow.
It's more. Yeah, it's like a tour.
It's like a regular rock show.
That bus looks really nice.
It's a beautiful bus.
How old is that
picture
bus?
Of you relaxing in the bus. Who is that guy laying flat on the bus?
Oh, you mean in that picture? That was our drummer. Normally, nobody lays flat in the bus, but he laid down for a moment, and it was so funny that the other guy took the picture because nobody, everyone sits up and hangs out and talks. But right now, they play video games in the bus.
What amazes me is that the leader of the band, George, is the bus driver.
Yeah. He drives. As long as it's not a ridiculous run, he'll do it. Otherwise, we have a driver we fly in to do it.
Ah,
So how many miles? How many miles does he do in a stretch?
Well, a lot of times we have a day off to get somewhere, so we can do, a 10-hour bus drive, and we break it up into 2 segments. Maybe we'll drive after the gig for 3 hours, then we'll pull into a bus stop and crash, and then wake up the next day and drive. If it's a really long drive, most of the time we're in a hotel, but every once in a while we have a night on the bus. So, but he drives. He's not nuts. I mean, he has to do a show, sound check, and everything else. So if it's a relatively short drive, like 5 hours or less, he'll do it. And if it's longer than that, he'll fly in the driver. Or if we don't
How
have a day to
interesting. And
get
does the bus pull a trailer, or is everything there?
everything is underneath the bus. He said he used to have a trailer in the old days, and they don't last. They fall apart. They get too beat up. So he's designed it now so the entire show fits in the belly of the bus, except for the guitars, and all 20 of those go in the back of the bus.
In
So in the lounge.
Yeah.
where
So
did
the lounge is
How
really where the what?
the drums? Where the
Drums go
drums go?
underneath. Drums go underneath. The console rack goes underneath. All the merchandise goes underneath. All the instruments go underneath. All the microphones go underneath. Everything.
Are you
goes
allowed to
underneath.
bring luggage? That doesn't sound like you'd have any room for luggage.
Yeah, my suitcase will fit in the bay if I wanted to, or it'll fit in the back. See, the back lounge is not a lounge anymore. It's a storage area because of all the guitars and merchandise
Ah,
stuff. So there's always room for stuff.
How many bunks?
Well, it's a 12 bunk bus, but 2 bunks were turned into a long closet with a hanging bar. And then the other 3 bottom bunks are storage. So we really use 2, 4, 6. We use seven bunks. We use.
And here's the main question: does it have a slide out?
No, it's not new enough for that. I think it's
Fixed. So is
2000.
it a
It's around
Prevost?
2000. It's a Prevost. Yeah.
And how
now
many
when
how
you
many
say a
millions
slide
of
out,
miles?
Kenny, do you mean that the sides slide out?
Yeah.
Right,
Pop
right.
outs. Make it wider. No, we don't have any of that.
But it's how many miles on that bus?
Ooh, I don't know, 800,000. I have no idea.
It's
Yeah,
amazing
yeah,
how
a lot.
those commercial vehicles could go a long, I mean, hundreds
Well,
of thousands
diesel.
in miles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you have to replace the engine or whatever, I mean, they still run. They still run well. As long
I
as they're
mean,
not
the
rotting
inside
out
of
or
that bus
anything.
is worth a lot of money because of all the modifications that were done to it. So they're going to do everything they can to make the mechanical
Yeah.
part of it work.
Yeah, I mean, it's a basic bus. It's got a couch on one side and a banquette on the other side with a small couch. A little kitchen area, a storage area, bathroom, just like all buses. And then you go through a door into the sleeping area, and then you go through a door into the lounge in the back.
Is the
For
door
those
pneumatic
people.
or an actual door that you pull on?
It's a swing door.
Uh-huh. There's so many different levels of the what do you call that? How fancy the buses are.
Yeah.
Does it have a washer dryer on the bus?
No, it doesn't. But that's a barbecue.
Oh,
That is-
really? A barbecue inside?
No, I'm only kidding. An open flame
Oh,
barbecue.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, does it
And the
have it
sunroof.
must have a microwave though, right?
Oh yeah, of course. A microwave and a sink. A coffee maker. They grind their own coffee beans and make coffee. And it's just.
And how many people are on the bus?
Well, the band has 5, and George is driving, so that means 4. And then we have me and another guy who's a sound guy.
For those of
he's
us who are not
like,
good with math, what does that add up to?
Adds up to 6 bunks and George.
Oh, that's really light. Oh, you're lucky. And then who does the lights for the show?
Local. And also the same thing with the video. The video is George gives him the computer with HDMI out and says, as soon as they start to sing, hit the space bar. Not when the music starts, when they start to sing, hit the space bar. And it's coordinated videos to every song. It's great. It's such a well-oiled machine. It's very impressive.
How interesting.
Yeah.
And so each song has its own space bar command?
Has its own video. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
very,
so
very
it's
cool.
not for the whole show. It's just one song at a time, sort of.
Yeah, one song at a time, right? Because he has to hit it when the singing starts. So that one ends, and you get to the next one, and you go spacebar. Because the set's the same.
How interesting.
Set
So
doesn't
let's
change.
first of all, let's say what it's called. It's called Hotel California. Is that the name of the show?
Hotel California, Salute to the Eagles, the only authorized Eagles tribute band anywhere.
Well, that's a lot for the announcer to say before the show. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hotel California. That's what they say.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
So you don't do it. Somebody local.
No. Sometimes we don't have anybody. The lights go out. Well, there's an intro. There's an intro on track. Back in the 70s, a band came out and changed everything. One of those things. And ladies and gentlemen, and then the music starts. So, and then George gets on and goes, "Hello, everybody. We're Hotel California. Let's go." And then they're in the song already. So
now, did they introduce the band at one point? Does George introduce the band?
Yeah, after Hotel California, which is obviously a major moment in the show. It's the culmination of all the Eagles songs. But yet they do an encore with a bunch of stuff that's not Eagles songs. George introduces the band and introduces me. I get a big
I heard
hi,
that.
how
I
you
thanked
doing?
George for you. I thanked him for that, actually. I thanked him for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get an intro every night.
And do they do the song "Life in the Fast Lane"?
Life in the Fast Lane? Is that what you said? You broke up. Yeah.
That's what I was wondering if they do that song.
Sure. I mean, they
nice.
only do, they do about 12 or 14 Eagles songs, but there are so many of them that, Lion Eyes, for example, they don't do Lion Eyes. There's a bunch of them they don't do, but they do, Desperado.
They must do Take It Easy is probably the most
Take It
popular Eagles
Easy,
song.
Witchy Woman. Yeah. They do some James Gang stuff too, because he's in the band.
Do they have a pedal steel? Do they have a pedal steel?
Pedal steel, violin, mandolin, banjo, piano, organ.
All within that four people.
Yeah, double neck guitars. There's 20 something guitars, but they're all in the lounge. As a matter of fact,
you're gonna show us the show when you start in a couple minutes.
Well, our show doesn't start till 8:30. You'll be off.
Oh, sorry, not in a couple minutes.
Well, there you go. Now, Kenny, you're doing Manilow still, and how's it going over there in the Palladium?
It's where we've got 4 shows remaining. We had to cancel one of our first shows because he got sick, but so we're doing a 2-show day this coming Saturday. So we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we're packing up and getting out of Dodge and coming home Monday.
When are you back in Vegas?
Not till September.
Okay. Well, very good. So you're working a lot. You're working an awful lot.
Yeah, when I get home, I have a lot of home stuff to do because our home had a water leak, and so half of it is being rebuilt.
Tina had a water leak in her house, which is crazy. Somehow, all of a sudden, she was walking on the carpet. She felt it was wet. Tina, you're in the room somewhere? I know you are.
Yes, I'm here.
Wait, that's at Tina. Your house? Your house?
At my house.
Your house in Vegas or Tina?
No, not my house in Vegas. I'll tell you about my house in Vegas in a second. But Tina, tell them about that leak and what they had to do.
They had the plumber come out. Then they had an evaluation company come out. Then they had another plumber come out.
Tell them the technique, what they had to do to look for the leak.
Oh, they had they called the leak detector.
Yeah, we did the same. We did the same thing. We had a leak detector company come out, and how did they find it?
Oh, they found it
with a little camera. With the camera?
No. The company that came yesterday, they actually they tore out around the faucet and what is that called, the spigot, where the tub is. They tore out the tile 6 inches around there. So when the leak detector came today, they found the leak.
Now, is the leak detector a canine that smells it out, or what do they use?
No. He had his gear to look around and sense for water everywhere. And
Do they use one of the divining rods? Is that what they use these days?
no,
No. Well, what technology do they use at your house, Kenny?
they use
They
infrared.
used. I don't know. I wasn't there when he did it, but he found our leak in the attic. He thought originally he thought it was going to be a what they call a slab leak because our house is built on a slab,
Yeah, that's what
and
they
the
thought
water
with me
was
too.
water. They thought the water was coming up through the slab into the flooring, and it was because it was all wet. But it turned out it was coming down from the attic where our hot water heater is, and it was coming down the walls. It destroyed a whole bunch of walls,
And then the whole thing that everybody's concerned about mold. At least here they are in Florida.
exactly that's why they destroyed or took out all those pieces of ceiling and wall. They got it down to the studs. I haven't been home since they did that, so I'm gonna go home to a home that looks like it's under construction. The floor is missing, the walls are missing. It's kind of crazy.
Well, I don't know. With all due respect, it sounds to me like that's the making of a country western song.
I had that happen here in Florida, where a
walls are gone.
Down from the attic I came, and there it was to the stud,
Yeah, they tore all my carpet out and the boards and the baseboard.
So is insurance going to cover it for you?
Yes.
Yeah,
minus a deductible.
We're having, of course, my deductible is insignificant compared to what they're going to pay me because they're going to totally refloor the entire house and fix all those walls that they tore out because they didn't want to have it get moldy. So the expense is in the tens of thousands of dollars, like many.
Well, especially because you're in the LA area where everything is more expensive.
Right. Plus, they're going to pay for me to live somewhere else for a few weeks while they do all this work, and also move they'll move all our belongings out.
Yes.
Well,
they'll get a one of those box storage boxables, like they'll put everything
exactly like what's it called? The the
Rat Rover or whatever it is.
boxables. I don't know something.
And they said they're going to put a couple of those pods in the front yard.
Yes, the pods. Yep.
Yeah, I had that happen 2 years ago here. We went to the East Coast and for East Coast of Florida for a weekend and came back to 3 inches of water in the kitchen and in the bathroom.
Oh man, that must have been a nightmare.
Oh yeah, it was. And so the insurance guys, they were great. They came out and they put us up in a hotel that was dog friendly. And it was $32,000. They replaced all the drywall, but what they didn't do, I had to pay the plumbers to fix the leak. They fixed
exactly. It's the exact same thing with me, Greg. Exact same thing. But my repair only cost $600 for the repair, and I had to do it like on off duty hours. I had to do it, Sunday or something. I forget what it was, but that was expensive for what he did because it only took him like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
so let me ask you. Do any of you guys have a sensor in your house? A water sensor?
I do.
I do now.
I guess I'm going to get one.
Oh, you mean so you can sense if it's on the water on the floor?
Well, they have these sensors like yeah.
It's an app that I have, and it's on my main. It's on my main pipe into my house, and it learns, how much water I do, and if all of a sudden I'm going up high, it will give me an alert, and then if I don't respond. And it's still going on, it shuts the water off.
Wow, that's a good thing
on your water supply. Then on your water supply, that's awesome. Yeah, that sounds great. I should get something. I should see if our water company has something.
The LA Water Company offers you a free flow meter that's magnetic and it goes on top of your water meter, and it tells you every month how much water you use and tells you if there's a constant water run, meaning you have a leak. It doesn't turn you off your water, but it tells you it does. And then I also have in my home security system water sensors, which I actually needed because I had a leak. Fortunately, it only went to the basement, which was on concrete. And I learned immediately because my water sensor said, "Hey, there's a problem. Come on downstairs."
The
Now,
water
do you
Oh,
have
I got to
Simply
talk
Safe?
to the water company because I had an issue recently with excessive water use, like 40,000 gallons in 1 month, and that was really excessive. But they didn't offer anything like that.
Yeah, by
Yeah,
the
I
way,
got
whatever happened with that 40,000 gallon leak? Did you ever figure that out?
I couldn't fight it because they said the meter does not lie, and you must have used 40,000 gallons. I said it must have gone into our pond because there's nowhere else that it could have gone where we would not have noticed 40,000 gallons of use. And so I said I found a leak, and they said, okay, we'll compromise. You know, instead of charging you $600, we're only charging you $400. Like, whatever, you know.
Well, I
you
tell
should
you
have gotten
here
a drone and looked at your neighbor's yard, because I think that their grass was really green that month.
No, it has nothing to do with the neighbor. I promise you. We live far enough away from our neighbors that it's totally separate.
That's why it was 40,000 gallons. It took a long way to get that water there. Tell you.
No.
Because I know
when I had
they
that happen,
actually called me, Kenny, to find out your schedule. I thought it was I didn't know it was your neighbor at the time, you know.
I've had that same thing happen here, but not with 40,000, but just a pipe, you know, one of the pipes going out to one of the spigots to water the yard. One of the pipes broke there, and City of Dunedin called me and said, "Hey, your meter's reporting high level of use. You should turn off your water."
Wow, I wish the water company would have told me that. That sounds great.
Kenny, look up the
job.
name Flume, Flume. That's the device that they sent me for free. Or they might have given it to me for half off. I might have paid like 12 or 20 bucks for it.
Well,
But anyway,
free is zero, so free at half off is still zero. I'm not good with math, but I know anything times zero is zero.
Well, I'll have to look into that, but that sounds like a great idea, especially now that we had a.
Yeah.
Now, David, do you have Simply Safe at your house?
Yeah, I do. I have that,
and they have, by the way, Simply Safe has a lot of different devices that can hook into your alarm system, such as a carbon monoxide tester, a water tester, some other stuff too as well.
Smoke detectors, all of that, all goes into your home security system.
I'm sure all the alarm companies have all those types of sensors. It's just a matter of who charges more and less, right?
Right.
Well, I happen to like Simply Safe. I've been with them now a long time. I had another alarm company that was, much more expensive and didn't do half as what Simply Safe does. I happen to.
Well, I've been with ADT for decades, many decades, and so ADT gives me a really good rate. It's only $45 a month for full service, and they maintain it and everything. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. I'm not changing anytime soon.
Yeah,
because they get you when you have the equipment in the house. You got to change equipment.
Well, ADT is now standardized on Google products now. So you can get a Nest carbon monoxide smoke detector. That's what I have. And
it integrates with the ADT system. Yeah, for a while they were integrating with Ring products, but then they switched to Google products.
Hey, well, listen, speaking of technology, I want to show you something that I got here. This is a flashlight, and it's a rechargeable flashlight. I don't know if you can see it charges with C. It's 700 lumens, but it has four different levels. And it was like, I don't remember, $18 or something like that. But I have to tell you guys, the technology packed in this little flashlight is amazing. I noticed David was using a flashlight that was big. But this, it's also got a belt clip on it. I don't know why they would put a belt clip on it, but they do. I put this ring on it myself. But the technology is amazing. And if you use a flashlight, it's called Night Core. 700 lumens, really, really worth buying. You know,
Yeah, I just don't want anything rechargeable. I want to be able to stick a battery in when it needs it and not have to wait. So I consider that not my technology. That's why I got this. I just got this yesterday, and it's 650 lumens, and it's just the right size to do that in. And you hit it once, it goes on. You hit it once, it goes off. You don't have to cycle through.
My preference is flashlights that have double A's, because double A's are every.
I agree, but they're harder to find, good ones.
Well, the reality is we're all using cell phones that you don't put batteries in. So, and the flashlight lasts forever.
I have a few headlights that are rechargeable, and they don't hold that charge very long. But when they're hot, when they're well charged, they sure do light up the area nicely.
Well, this one I have to tell you is I haven't been able to wear the battery out yet. Pretty good, but look how small it is. I mean, it's really amazingly small. Anyway, I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't think it was great, because I only recommend things that I think is great.
And the manufacturer again was what?
Nightcore. The Nightcore SE700 is what I believe it's called. NITECORE.
There you go. Okay, thank you.
Coming to a nighttime infomercial soon.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be nicer if it had a red light on it as well for nighttime use, but because your eyes get used to the custom and the light. You want to go to sleep, you don't want it too bright, whatever. That's about the size of it. Hey, listen, speaking of touring, I know we weren't speaking, but I just happened to notice a tour, and Cyndi Lauper is going back out on the road for
final tour for Cyndi Lauper.
And Peter, my good friend Peter Scher, who passed away now, it's going on 4 years, I believe. Hard to believe that he's gone that long, but he was her travel agent, and I got to hang out with her, and she is one of the sweetest people in the world. Cyndi Lauper is just as sweet as could be. So
I heard that she can be very challenging to do sound for, because she's so artistic that she doesn't necessarily have good terms to express what she's hearing or what's bothering her or what she would like with the sound. Have anybody else had experience with that?
I mixed front of house when she played the Columbus Agora years ago. She was great out front, but boy, did the monitor folks have challenges.
It was challenging because of the communication, right?
Yeah, but not only that, it's also her voice is in one range because she talks a lot during the show, or at least she did, and then she sings totally different. It's almost like when she's singing, you have to totally recue the wedges, You're
right, gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
her sound guy these days is Tom Winch. Do you know Tom Winch?
No, I have.
He's the house sound guy at the, what's it called now, the Dolby Theater in Hollywood. He's the house sound guy there, and he's her sound guy. So I assume he'll be going out on that tour with her and making sure that she's happy everywhere. I'm not sure. I don't think he does monitors. Probably does house, but
you think you can get away from You think you can get away from the Dolby to go on tour? He's their guy.
I do. Yeah, I know, but I think he has a second guy that covers him because he's done it before.
Cool. Listen, let me interrupt just for a moment. Joshua, I'm going to be in Sheboygan on Saturday with Hotel California.
Yep, I saw that. You actually, where you are tonight, you're like 20 minutes, about a half hour from my house, actually, tonight.
Well, I'll see you on Saturday. I just didn't want to plug.
I'll be there about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
That's fine. I'm there all day.
Is that how you pronounce it? Sheboygan? Shouldn't you have some sort of accent when you say Sheboygan?
You need a little. Yeah, you need to sound a little more Jewish. Is that what I'm saying? Sheboygan. Speaking of which,
actually,
did you hear about the president? I'm sorry.
It's like I think of, I don't know why it would be like Jerry Lewis saying it,
Hey, lady.
We have our own lingo up here.
Yeah, let's everybody do their own Jerry Lewis impersonation now, all right? Yeah. Hey, lady, hey.
So that's like the new president of Mexico. Did you hear about her?
Yeah, amazing.
She's what's her name?
Sheboygan. No, I don't know what
like.
I mean.
It's something. She's got a Jewish. She's got a classic Jewish last name and a Latin first name. Claudia, I think, is her first name, and then it's like Steinberg or something. Steinberg. So Jon Stewart did a great thing about him.
Yeah, Jon Stewart is really outspoken right now. I love him. I think he is amazingly good. And I'll tell you something. Speaking of Jon Stewart, I just saw a clip on Facebook. I was watching Trevor Noah doing stand-up before he became the host. I think it was before he became the host of the Daily Show, before he replaced, and his stand-up bit was phenomenal. I thought it was good.
I have not ever paid to see a comedian in concert except for Trevor Noah, and I just did it on a whim because I was working at the Staples Center on something else, and I said, look, he's going to be here, and I'll be off when he's here. Let's buy tickets. So I bought tickets. I had no idea who he was. Oh, that's all I knew about him. I knew that he had been on Howard Stern, and he was very wise, very intelligent guy. And so I said, yeah, let's go see it. So we went to see it, and it was phenomenally funny. It was friggin' awesome. And then, after that, I saw him on the
wasn't that lady, Claudia, wasn't she just murdered Monday?
No,
that's the mayor was murdered.
Oh, okay.
Some other lady.
To be the mayor.
She was the president, but the mayor. Okay.
That's George.
Yeah,
No,
Mexico
she was just elected.
Mexico.
She was just elected. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I mean, she's the first woman president of Mexico, which is really impressive.
My mic might have been off.
Very impressive.
Oh, the mayor was Cotisha.
Yeah,
Yolanda.
Right.
Okay.
So yes, thank God she's still alive, because what a bummer it would be if you finally got elected and then you didn't get a chance to serve. That would be horrible.
I'll tell you what, I love talking to you guys, but it's really late here, so I got to get to bed. So,
hey, listen, before
see you guys
go, I
next
just
week.
want to
Next week I'll be back.
There's an English comedian called Jimmy Carr. Jimmy Carr. Are you familiar with that? Look him, Google him, look him up on YouTube.
How do you spell his last name?
Hilarious. Jimmy Carr, C-A-R-R. Really funny. Really funny.
You ever heard of Jimmy Tarbuck?
No.
He's our opening act at the lab.
Oh, is he funny?
He's okay. He's 84 years old, and so but he was the host of a show called Sunday Evening at the Palladium or something like that for many years, apparently, when he was much younger. But he's been a TV show host and things. He's more a host-like person than a comedian, but he's the opening act. It's pretty.
Well, we're sorry to see you go, Kenny. Thanks for coming.
Take care,
Enjoy
Kenny.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you back in the
Have a good one,
States
Kenny.
next time.
Good to see you.
Did you,
Safe flight back.
Kenny, did you say
Mike,
I had George on saying hello to you and
Oh, where's George?
Where is George?
I just
don't
had
know
him
that I've
on.
ever seen George. Oh, I missed.
All right, hang on a second. Here's George.
Yeah, let's find George.
Hey,
Come
what
on.
is he
Let's
looking
give
like,
George some
George?
free time.
Well,
Let's give some George some
just
free
not
time.
There's
pretty.
George.
Thank you for your inquiry and your interest.
Hey, George. How's
Fantastic.
it
Hi,
going?
George. Good to see you.
Ladies
There's the
and
guy that
gentlemen,
made it
it's
all
children
happen.
all
There's
ladies.
George.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, the leader
Let's
of
get
the
this back
band,
to where it belongs.
Hotel California, a tribute
So
to the Eagles.
he-
There you go.
And he's the Timothy
Where-
Schmidt
where
of
did
the
he do
band. He
this?
plays bass. Oh, wait.
There we go.
David,
All
we
right,
know
well-
what you look like. We know what you look like.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. And Jan, I got your link, by the way. I just haven't done anything with it yet.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. When you get to it, you get to it.
And Ken, thank you for giving me David. He's been a treat. He's
That's
fun to
fantastic.
Are you wearing
he's
a
fun to
tie?
abuse.
Dave's the guy.
Are you wearing
All
a
right,
tie?
I'm glad that
I
worked out.
am.
Do you
Well, he's
have a
getting ready
hat
to go
too
on
when you wear the
stage for-
bus? When you drive the bus, do you have a hat on too?
No, but I carry guns. Yeah, just
Oh,
kidding.
man.
Spoken like a true Californian. That's it.
Yeah.
We're going. Goodbye.
All right, bye, kids.
All right, have a great show, guys. Have a great show. So, Christopher, I know you're driving. At least you're driving. You look like you're driving. It might be a simulated, but if you could talk, tell us what happened at the Meyer factory. All right, don't look. Look at the road. Look at the road. Look at the road. Don't look at us.
Everything. Yeah, so this is the second day of a 3-day session concerning, just kind of line arrays and general theory. And then on Friday, we have a special low frequency class, which hasn't been taught in a good while. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Very good. Now, are you going to be going to Infocom as well?
I don't have plans to go to Infocom. I'm just kind of got a lot of other stuff going on at the moment. So
Now, did you drive up to San Francisco?
yeah, I did. I drove up to San Francisco. I'm staying with a buddy of mine over in Danville, and I stupidly showed up on Monday morning for training when it started on Tuesday. So that was a lot of fun.
Now, did they show you their anabolic chamber?
Oh yeah, we had a full 2-hour tour of the Meyer facility. It was absolutely, utterly fascinating.
Well, tell us about I know how fascinating it is. I've been invited to go to the anabolic chamber. I've never been inside it. Tell us about it.
Well, I don't know what you mean about anabolic chamber. We saw a couple of rooms where they put an element, either a Panther or an X40 or whatever they're testing before it goes out the door, and they crank them up and they do all sorts of stuff. Then they take Galileos and they put them in a refrigerator, and then it turns into an oven, and they're running signal through it the whole time. They do extensive testing. It's really crazy. But the fact that they're doing so much of the build, I just think there are only a few things that they're not doing, but the majority of everything that comes in a Meyer cabinet is fabricated right here in Berkeley. It's absolutely exceptional.
So,
One of the
Christopher,
only manufacturers that are completely manufactured in the United States, although they do have to get their neodymium from outside the United States, but they do produce
very
everything
interesting.
there.
We actually saw them, taking a round piece of metal, which is going to become the magnet, and it has no magnetism, and then they put it into the special machine and they magnetized it right in front of our eyes. It was absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So,
But they do have a room there at Meyer, and I believe it's underneath the parking lot, where it's completely zero sound, the anabolic chamber.
Anechoic.
Anechoic? I thought it was called anabolic.
No.
Echo.
Anabolics are steroids.
Echo. The word echo is in there. No echoes. It's a totally quiet room. And
yeah, no, that room that room we didn't get to see, but I think we saw pretty much everything else.
They say if you're in an anechoic chamber, you can hear the blood in your body going by your ears because it's so quiet in there.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely extraordinarily impressive, and everybody's very nice, and we look for more boxes that are going to be made from extruded aluminum. Looks like they're going to be heading that direction, where for the moment they're using wood and you know, in the Panthers and in the X40s, but it looks like extruded aluminum is going to be more in the future of new products.
Now, did you
Lighter.
have to sign an NDA?
Yes, I did.
You're
And
not
I
gonna
really-
Very
miss.
good.
Yeah, I mean, I can't, I mean, you know, I really don't. I mean, my father was an engineer and I saw some, you know, CNC lathes and some different things in my life. And there was a lot of stuff going on in there, but, you know, I'm not technical enough to understand precisely what they were doing, but they, you know, they manufacture all of the bits and bobs right there. It's really, really amazing, truly amazing.
Yes, it is. Well, tomorrow, Meyer is going to be announcing a brand new product. And basically, we have, I can't really say anything more than that, but believe it or not, I can tell you it's a speaker, you know, and it's just it's a supplement to one of their lines.
Yeah,
Which is really going to be.
they mentioned a new speaker today, which I had never heard of. So I think that may be the one.
Yep, that's the one. So tomorrow, if this show was tomorrow, then I would be able to tell you what it is. But otherwise, I promised I wouldn't say anything till June 6th. And today is only June 5th. So there you have it.
I'm
Anyway.
sure we'll hear about it tomorrow because we're still in class for the next 2 days. So
Yeah, you will hear about it. And then next week you could talk all about it. But I think you will be very, very impressed by it. And, you know, even and the reason probably is that it's just, you know, cutting edge technology.
yeah, that'll be interesting for sure.
Yep. Anyway, oh, that's good. Anyway, so you're up in. Is it easy to get pot up there in San Francisco?
It's what is it? It's about 73, 74, but if you're in the direct sunlight, it's much hotter. And then as you go inland from Berkeley towards Danville, which is like going by Orinda and Walnut Creek, it just keeps getting warmer and warmer as you move closer to the interior of California. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't the
driving-
question I asked, but it's okay. But it's all right. It's a good answer.
Hot, same thing.
Yeah. Well, they just announced. I don't. When I think of California and Berkeley, I always think of, you know, marijuana for some reason. I don't know why, but daily marijuana use now has outpaced alcohol in the United States. Is that not amazing? That they, first of all, they could figure that out, but the reality is that they could talk about it. You know, it's pretty impressive how things have changed. I knew that one day when it became legal that we would be buying it from Budweiser. You know, it would be Budweiser. They're perfectly already advanced the name for marijuana. You know, it's a Budweiser.
No, it would be Philip Morris. What do you think?
Yeah. You know. Anyway, listen, on a sad note, I just want to, there is something that I saw in the news that I thought I would share, because the guy that wrote Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, that guy, his name is Richard Sherman, and he also he did Mary Poppins. He wrote, and you know what? He's got the #1 song in the world, the #1 song that's been played more than any other song, according to what I've read, is "It's a Small World After All." It's a small world after all. Everyone in this room knows what it is, and he wrote that too. He died at 95. So, I mean, I think that's pretty impressive. He was that he lasted so long, and he wrote so many phenomenal kid songs that everybody knows.
So that's
He
the
wasn't
guy
a
who's
Beatle.
responsible. If you ever
Yeah.
go to Disneyland or to Disney World, you'll and go on that ride, you hate him with a passion for the next 3 days, because
like the Frozen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? An interesting thing happened to me. We went on that ride, and the sound system collapse while we were in the ride, and all we could hear is clickety 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 clickety. It was like strange that you know that you wouldn't think about how much moving parts are in that ride. But when the sound system stops and all you hear is the whatever you would call those
Animatronics.
animatronics, or animatronics. That's right. You just hear.
I first went on that ride in the New York World's Fair in Queens, New York, or Flushing
Well,
Meadows.
I was there. I
I
knew
was
you
there
looked
too.
familiar. Now I know where I know you from. Oh, the World's Fair. I was just a little boy at the time.
Yep.
You know,
There were some great rides at that fair. I remember
you know what I remember about the New York World's Fair? I remember the helicopter ride. Do you remember the helicopter ride they had?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but they had a helicopter ride that went up and down, and you could drive the helicopter. Oh, it's very, very cool.
Yeah. I like the Ford exhibit to where they build a Mustang around you. It was like you were going through an assembly line, and the body panels would come in, and you'd end the ride rolling in a brand new Mustang.
Really, I don't remember that. David, were you there? You're muted, Dave.
Yeah, I was there. And I was saying that the helicopter ride was for 6-year-olds. That's why we don't remember it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was just there at what used to be the Carousel of Progress next to the New York State
Right.
exhibit. It's now called the Queen's Theater, and they put on
Wow.
shows. It's a round building. The back of the stage is round, the back of the room is round, and it's a nice theater. And Hotel California was going to play there, but it turns out it fell through. So, but I was there with Charlie.
Did they still do a World's Fair? Is there still a World's Fair?
Well, it's still got the globe, and it's now a park.
No. I mean, in reality, is there a World's Fair going on?
Yeah. Well,
but they're
they
not
have one in Dubai.
But they're not like they
Expo.
used to be.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Nothing's like it used to be.
Nobody can touch the New York World Fair, in my opinion. I mean, there were so many amazing things there. It was.
Chicago in 1898 or whatever year they had it. That was they saw electricity for the first time. So that was pretty cool. But the World's Fairs in the last 40 years haven't been anything.
Right. Right.
Really? What year was that in the Chicago World's Fair?
64, 65.
No, Chicago.
No, we had electricity before then.
No, you mean the Chicago?
Yeah, high 1800s.
Yeah.
We'll have to do some research on that. That's pretty cool. The World's Fair, but I remember, I wonder how old I was then. I wonder what year that was, the World's Fair.
Which one?
One in New York.
What? That's what I said.
I see you're smoking that marijuana. That's good.
65, dude.
64,
That's why the Mustang was a brand new car.
Yep.
The Mustang,
yeah.
The Mustang was just introduced.
Yep.
So I was like 11 or 12 in those days. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I remember it. I remember the World's Fair. I don't remember who took me. I don't remember the only thing I remember is that helicopter ride for some reason. Hypnosis would be a good thing right now. You are getting sleepy. Remember what happened in the World's Fair? Oh, yes, I remember. I met Greg Baker. Yes, that's it. My life changed forever. I even got an accent. What the hell? But that's about the size of it. All right, who wants to say something before we say goodbye to the people?
So what was the final pronunciation of Sheboygan?
Sheboygan.
There it is. A person from Sheboygan. Actually, we have somebody from Sheboygan in the Sheboygan. Oh yeah, that's it. We will have a contest of the pronunciation of Sheboygan next week. Bring your best game.
If you want to have a fun time, I'll make a list of all the cities in Wisconsin where I'm from, and you can try to pronounce them because you're gonna go, what the heck? You're gonna go, you won't pronounce about 90% of them.
Hey, listen, I got something for you, Josh. I got something, I don't, you weren't here last week when I mentioned it, but there's a comedian right now called Anthony Jeselnik. I think you will find him hilarious, just hilarious. I mean, the guy is he's a dark, funny comedian, you know?
I'll have to look
And,
him up. But I do have a joke this week there, Jan. I got a good joke.
Well, it's the end of the show, so you could do it. Nobody's listening but us. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's this guy. He's flying down the road, and he gets pulled over by a cop. And the cop looked at him and says, "You know why I pulled you over?" And he goes, "Look, officer, I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to let me go. Trust me, you're going to let me go. I'm in a hurry. I got a good reason why I was speeding." The cop goes, "Well, I've heard every reason in the book, but if you could, more than likely, I'm going to give you a speeding ticket and revoke your license." He goes, "But okay, yeah, tell me your reason." He goes, "All right, you see the lady sitting next to me in the passenger seat?" And he kind of leaned over and saw this lady just fuming mad. And the officer's like, "Well, yeah." He goes, "Well, that's my wife." He goes, "You see the lady sitting in the back seat?" He looks in the back seat and sees an older lady sitting in the back seat, and she's just fuming mad. And the officer's like, "Yeah." And the guy goes, "Well, that's my wife's mom that came to stay with us for 2 weeks, 10 months ago. This morning they had a huge argument and said that they were never ever going to speak to each other again. So I was trying to get her home before they made amends." And the cop goes, "Dang, I didn't realize it was an emergency. I'm going to call ahead and have every intersection blocked. You just follow me with red lights."
Well, there you go. That's it. Just remember, I heard one comedian say, I was Jimmy Carr actually. He was saying, he was talking about that you should look at the woman's mother because that's what you're getting yourself into. She's gonna look like her mother then. So anyway. Hey, look, with that in mind, remember you make it happen. Everything you heard today was an opinion. We're going to stay in the room. If you want to be part of the panel, just DM any one of us. Remember to click the like button, give us a thumbs up, a heart, whatever. Follow us, share the program, tag yourselves, do anything that you can to help promote us so that more people could hear your voice. And before I say goodbye to social media, once again, I'll ask anybody in the room if there's anything that they want to say for the public.
Watch Starship launch tomorrow morning.
Very good. Remember, now we're going to talk about things that we don't want you to know about in public. So now's the fun part. Come and join us. Remember, you make it happen. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. And till then, make it happen. Bye now. And we